Imagine being able to walk into any room and instantly connect with people. Imagine persuading others without pressure, handling tough conversations with ease, and inspiring enthusiasm wherever you go. That's exactly what this video will help you do. We're diving into one of the most powerful self-development books ever written, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This book isn't just about charm or small talk. It's about transforming how you deal with people at work, in relationships, and in everyday life. And here's what you'll walk away with: a fresh mindset and brand new ambition. The ability to make friends quickly and naturally, more popularity, persuasion, and real influence. Tools to win people to your way of thinking. Skills to handle complaints, avoid arguments, and keep things smooth. How to be a better speaker and spark enthusiasm in others. This isn't just a summary, it's a roadmap to real influence. If you've ever wanted to level up your social game and become someone people actually want to listen to, stick around. We'll go through 4 sections that include a total of 30 principles. I've summarized everything down to the key insights to save you time and make it easier to apply. If you find value in what we've shared, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Part 1. Fundamental techniques in handling people. Let's face it, dealing with people can be tough, whether it's with family, children, or coworkers. We often want others to listen, agree, or change, but we usually go about it the wrong way. Dale Carnegie's first set of principles flips that upside down, and it starts with understanding how people really work. Let's dive into the 3 fundamental principles that lay the foundation for building better relationships and influencing others effectively. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. That means that if you want people to listen to you or work with you, don't attack or blame them, even if they've done something wrong. People rarely blame themselves, even when they're clearly wrong. But when we attack or criticize others, it doesn't lead to change. It just triggers defensiveness, excuses, or even resentment because it hurts their pride. A powerful example from the book is Two Gun Crowley, a notorious criminal in the 1930s. After shooting a police officer, he wrote a note saying, "Under my coat is a weary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody any harm." Even though he had just murdered someone, he didn't see himself as a bad person. Dale Carnegie uses this to show, if even murderers justify their actions and don't blame themselves, how can we expect others to change by criticizing them? Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. The big secret of dealing with people want to feel important and valued, so if you truly appreciate someone, tell them and mean it. People crave appreciation more than almost anything. Yes, even more than money. Take Charles Schwab, who was chosen to be the first president of the new United States Steel Company in the early 1900s. He was one of the first Americans to earn over $1 million a year, not because he was the smartest in steel, but because he was a master at dealing with people. He believed the best way to bring out someone's potential was through appreciation and encouragement, not criticism. His teams felt seen and motivated, and that loyalty helped build a massive empire. It is important to distinguish appreciation and flattery. The difference between praise and flattery is that praise is honest and comes from the heart, while flattery is fake and used just to get something. So if you want to win friends and influence others, look for the good in people and tell them you appreciate it, sincerely. Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. People are driven by their desires, not yours. The best way to influence someone is to focus on what they want, not what you want, and show them how they can get it. So before trying to convince anyone, always ask yourself, what does this person want, and how can I help them see that doing what I suggest will help them get it? That mindset can be a game changer in both work and personal life. A powerful example from the book is a man was renting a hotel ballroom for a series of lectures. One season, the hotel suddenly told him the rent would go up 3 times more than what he had been paying. He could have gotten angry or complained, but instead he stayed calm and focused on what the hotel manager cared about: making a profit. He sat down with the manager and made a simple list showing the advantages and disadvantages of raising the rent. Here's what he pointed out. Advantages: ballroom would be free. The hotel could rent it out for other events like dances or conventions, which might bring in more money per night than lectures. Disadvantages: 1. Loss of a steady client. The man couldn't afford the new rent, so he would move his lectures elsewhere. That means the hotel would get no income from him at all. 2. Loss of valuable exposure. His lectures brought in educated, cultured people, which was great advertising for the hotel. If they spent thousands on newspaper ads, they wouldn't attract as many quality visitors as the lectures did for free. The result? The hotel only raised the rent by 50% instead of 300%. This story shows how powerful it is to think from the other person's point of view and focus on what they want. This principle also works with children. For example, if a parent wants their child to clean up their toys, instead of saying, "Do it because I said so," they can say, "Let's clean up so we can find your favorite toys faster and have more room to play." This makes the child want to help because they see a benefit for themselves. Part 2, 6 ways to make people like you. Everyone wants to be liked, but most of us try too hard to impress others, when the real secret is to make them feel impressed by themselves. Dale Carnegie reveals 6 simple but powerful ways to win people's hearts, and it starts with shifting the focus away from you. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Do this and you'll be welcome anywhere. People are drawn to those who care about them, not those who try to get attention. But most conversations revolve around trying to be interesting, not interested. Therefore, if you want to be welcome anywhere, show sincere curiosity in others. A touching example is of a 10-year-old boy alone in the hospital on Thanksgiving. A young nurse noticed his tears and, instead of walking past, spent her evening comforting him, playing games, eating with him, and staying long past her shift. That moment of genuine care stayed with him for life. It's not about grand gestures, it's about showing someone they matter, especially when no one else does. Principle 2. Smile. A simple way to make a good impression. A simple smile can have a powerful effect. A smile is a universal sign that says, "I like you, I'm happy to see you." Many people underestimate its power or forget to use it. Even when you can't be seen, like on the phone, a smile can be heard. A telephone operator who smiled while speaking sounded friendlier, even through the line. That small change made a big impact on how others responded. It's free, easy, and instantly makes people feel better, including you. The key idea is that everyone wants to feel happy, and your smile can bring a little happiness into someone's day. Smiling not only makes others feel good, it lifts your own mood too. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. If you don't do this, you are headed for trouble. People love hearing their own name. Our name is deeply tied to our identity and sense of self. Remembering and using someone's name is a simple but powerful way to connect and leave a positive impression. Yet, most of us forget names quickly after meeting someone. Napoleon III had a system for remembering names. If he didn't catch a name, he asked for it again or how it was spelled. Then he repeated it during the conversation and linked it with the person's appearance. Using names is a small gesture, but it leaves a big impact, even with everyday people like a cafeteria worker who gave better service after being greeted by her name. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. An easy way to become a good conversationalist. People love to talk about themselves. Being a good listener makes others feel heard, valued, and respected. The fastest way to become a great conversationalist is to say less and listen more. One example from the book describes a woman who bought a coat on final sale, only to discover a tear in the lining. When she tried to return it, the store clerk rudely dismissed her, pointing to the final sale sign and refusing to listen. Frustrated and ready to stop shopping there altogether, she was fortunately approached by the department manager. He listened respectfully, explained that damaged items were an exception to the policy, and offered either a repair or a refund, ultimately saving both the sale and the customer relationship. This story highlights an important truth. The people you interact with are far more interested in themselves, their wants, needs, and problems, than they are in yours. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. How to interest people. People light up when you talk about what they care about. If you want someone's attention, speak their language. Before meeting someone, President Theodore Roosevelt would study topics that interested that person. If his guest loved horses, Roosevelt would read about horses. This way, he could talk about something the other person enjoyed, and that made him more likable and respected. The key takeaway is that people feel valued when you care about their interests. So, if you want to make a good impression, learn what excites them and talk about that. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. How to make people like you instantly. Everyone wants to feel important and appreciated. If you treat people with genuine respect and show them they matter, they'll like you instantly. But it has to be sincere. Fake flattery doesn't work. A lawyer once visited his wife's elderly aunt and complimented her beautiful old house with heartfelt words. She was so touched that she opened up, shared stories, and eventually offered him her late husband's treasured car. He didn't want the gift, but it wasn't about the car. It was about someone feeling truly seen and appreciated. Real connection doesn't come from flattery. It comes from sincerity. Remember to always make the other person feel important. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. To persuade others, focus less on being right, and more on listening, empathizing, and making them feel valued and understood. Principle 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. You can't win an argument. Being kind and understanding wins more people than being right. Arguments usually don't solve anything. They often just make both sides more stubborn. Even if you win, the other person may feel hurt or embarrassed, and you lose their goodwill. At a dinner, Dale corrected someone who misquoted a line from Shakespeare, wanting to prove he was right. But his friend later told him he should have stayed quiet. Why? Because making someone feel wrong just ruins the mood and doesn't help the relationship. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." A sure way of making enemies, and how to avoid it. If you tell someone that he's wrong, do you think this make him want to agree with you? Of course not. Even a look or tone can tell someone they're wrong and trigger resistance. Carnegie advised to never bluntly say, "You're wrong," but instead guide people gently so they don't feel attacked. Subtlety earns more cooperation. If you are going to prove anything, don't let anybody know it. Do it so subtly that no one will feel that you are doing it. Principle 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. When you make a mistake, the best thing to do is admit it right away and with sincerity. Don't wait or make excuses. When you admit you're wrong before someone else points it out, it surprises people and makes them respect you more. Anyone can try to make excuses for their mistakes, and most people do, but it takes a wiser and stronger person to admit when they're wrong. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. A drop of honey. A warm tone opens people up more than facts or anger. When you start a conversation angry, the other person usually gets defensive and pushes back. But if you speak calmly and kindly, you have a much better chance of getting them to listen. A great example of this is John D. Rockefeller Jr. In 1915, miners in Colorado were furious with him during a violent strike. They blamed his company and even wanted to hurt him. But instead of arguing or defending himself, Rockefeller spent time meeting the workers and their families. When he finally gave a speech to the strikers, he spoke warmly and kindly. He said things like, "We are friends," and "I'm proud to be here." His friendliness changed everything. The workers calmed down, respected him, and even returned to work without fighting for the raise they originally wanted. Principle 5. Get the other person saying, "Yes, yes," immediately. The secret of Socrates. When you start a conversation in a way that gets the other person to say yes right away, they're more likely to agree with you later. A bank teller named James Eberson once helped a customer open an account. The man didn't want to answer some questions on the form. In the past, James would have told the man, "If you don't answer, we can't open your account." That kind of response made James feel in charge, but it often made customers feel unwelcome. This time, James tried a different approach. He agreed with the man and didn't force him to answer. Then he gently asked, "If you had money in the bank when you passed away, wouldn't you want it to go to your family?" The man said, "Yes." "So wouldn't it be helpful if we knew who that person was so we could follow your wishes?" The man said, "Yes," again. Because James focused on what the customer wanted and got him saying yes, the man relaxed. He ended up sharing all his information and even opened an extra account for his mother. Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. People like to feel heard and understood. If you do most of the talking, they might feel ignored or unimportant. Instead, let them talk about their ideas, problems, or experiences. Don't interrupt or jump in with your own opinions too quickly. Principle 7. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. How to get cooperation. People are more likely to support an idea when they feel it came from them, not when it's forced on them. Adolf Seltz, a car sales manager, had a team that was unmotivated and disorganized. Instead of giving a lecture, he asked the team what they expected from him. He wrote their answers on the board. Then he asked what he could expect from them. The team responded with ideas like honesty, hard work, and teamwork. Because the team helped come up with these expectations themselves, they felt responsible for living up to them. Sales increased and the team became energized. As Seltz said, it felt like they had made a deal together, and everyone wanted to keep their part of it. Remember, when people think an idea is their own, they believe in it more and are more likely to act on it. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. A formula that will work wonders for you. Even if someone is wrong, they don't think they are. Instead of judging or criticizing, try to understand their perspective. Sam Douglas used to criticize his wife for spending so much time working on their lawn. He felt it was a waste of effort since the yard didn't seem to improve. His remarks often upset her and ruined the evening. After learning about this principle, Sam realized that his wife enjoyed gardening and took pride in her work. Instead of criticizing, he decided to join her one evening and help pull weeds. She was thrilled. They talked and bonded over the shared task. From then on, he helped her more often and complimented her dedication and the progress she made. The result? A stronger relationship and a happier home, all because he tried to see things through her eyes. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Wouldn't you like to have a magic phrase that would stop arguments, eliminate ill feeling, create goodwill, and make the other person listen attentively? There's one magical phrase you can use. I don't blame you one bit for feeling that way. If I were you, I'd feel exactly the same. This phrase works because it shows sincere empathy. When people are upset, angry, or disagree with you, don't fight them. Feel for them. A little sympathy can stop an argument before it starts, and often turns a critic into a supporter. Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. An appeal that everybody likes. People want to think of themselves as honest, fair, generous, and honorable, even when their actions may suggest otherwise. When you're trying to influence someone, appeal to these higher ideals rather than criticizing or accusing. Frame your request in a way that aligns with their better nature. For example, if a customer refuses to pay a bill, you could say, I'm sure you're a person who takes pride in doing the right thing. That's why I felt confident bringing this to your attention. Rather than accusing them, this reminds them of their own self-image and encourages them to act accordingly, without confrontation. Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. The movies do it. TV does it. Why don't you do it? Facts and logic are important, but on their own, they can be boring or easy to ignore. If you want someone to really listen, pay attention, or act on your idea, you need to make it vivid, real, and hard to forget. That means presenting your point in a dramatic or creative way that grabs attention and makes an emotional impact. People respond to stories, visuals, or actions that break the usual pattern. Mary Catherine Wolfe wanted to talk to her boss about some work issues, but his secretary kept delaying her request all week. So, she decided to dramatize her message. She wrote him a formal letter and included a form he could quickly fill out, saying when he'd meet with her and how much time he could give. She even added a self-addressed envelope to make it super easy. The boss filled it out himself and gave her a meeting that same day. They ended up talking for over an hour and resolving her problems. If she hadn't dramatized how much she wanted the meeting, she might have kept waiting. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. When nothing else works, try this. People are naturally competitive. One of the most powerful ways to motivate others is by giving them a challenge. Something that pushes them to do their best. Not because they're forced to, but because they want to prove themselves. Charles Schwab once visited a steel mill where production was falling short. The manager said he had tried everything, begging, yelling, threatening, but the workers still didn't produce enough. Schwab didn't lecture or complain. Instead, he asked how many units the day shift made. 6. Then he took a piece of chalk and wrote a big 6 on the floor, right where everyone could see it, and left. When the night shift saw it, they asked what it meant. Hearing that the day shift had made 6, they wanted to beat it. By morning, they had erased the 6 and written a 7. The next day, the day shift saw the 7, and they came back with a 10. Suddenly, competition kicked in, and production skyrocketed. In no time, that mill became the top performer in the entire plant. If you want people to rise to a higher level, don't just demand it. Challenge them. Part 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. If you must find fault, this is the way to begin. When you need to correct someone or point out a mistake, start with a genuine compliment or recognition of something they've done well. This softens the blow of criticism and makes the person much more open to hearing what you have to say. Quick example, instead of saying, you really messed this up, say something like, you've done great work on this project so far. There's just one area that could be even stronger. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Instead of criticizing someone directly when they make a mistake, point it out in a subtle, respectful way. This helps protect their pride and makes them more open to improving. One day, Schwab walked through his steel mill and saw some workers smoking right beneath a no smoking sign. Did he yell at them or point to the sign? No, but instead, he walked over, smiled, and handed them cigars, saying, I'll appreciate it, boys, if you will smoke these on the outside. They immediately understood they had broken a rule, but instead of feeling reprimanded, they felt respected and even liked him more. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. This principle emphasizes humility and empathy. Instead of pointing fingers or blaming others directly, you make your feedback easier to accept by first admitting your own similar mistakes. Criticism is more effective and far less hurtful when you share your own past errors first. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. No one likes to take orders. People are more likely to follow a rule if they helped make the decision. People naturally resist being told what to do, especially when it feels like a command. Instead of giving direct orders, ask questions that lead the person to the right action. This makes them feel involved and respected, rather than controlled. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. When someone makes a mistake, never embarrass or humiliate them. especially in front of others. Even if you're right, making someone feel small or ashamed damages their confidence, relationships, and motivation. Anna Mazzone, a marketing specialist, was given her first big assignment to test market a new product. Unfortunately, she made a serious planning mistake, and the entire test had to be redone. At the meeting with her boss, nervous and expecting criticism, she confessed the error and promised to redo the study. She was bracing for embarrassment, but instead her boss said, "It's not unusual to make a mistake on a first project. I know you worked hard, and I believe in your potential." This was due to inexperience, not a lack of ability. Anna walked out of that room with her confidence intact and a burning determination never to let her boss down again. Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. This principle is about motivating others by genuinely recognizing even small improvements. People thrive on appreciation and recognition, but only when it's specific and sincere, not empty flattery. Don't wait for perfection. Acknowledge progress, no matter how small. Specific praise feels real and meaningful. For example, instead of saying, "Great job," say, "I really noticed how clearly you explained that point during the meeting." Remember, we all crave appreciation and recognition, and we'll do almost anything to get it. But nobody wants insincerity. Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. When you give someone a positive reputation, they will often strive to live up to it. It appeals to their pride, encourages effort, and makes them feel respected and trusted. Dr. Martin Fitzhugh, a dentist in Dublin, noticed that his metal cup holder wasn't clean, which a patient pointed out. Instead of scolding the cleaning lady, Bridget, he wrote her a kind, respectful note praising her usual work and gently suggesting that she take extra time, if needed, to do occasional deep cleaning. Bridget went above and beyond, polishing everything immaculately without even taking extra time. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. This principle focuses on building people up rather than tearing them down. People thrive when they feel capable and supported. Even small encouragement can spark effort, hope, and determination. A 40-year-old bachelor took up dancing lessons at the urging of his fiancée. His first instructor was brutally honest, saying he was dancing all wrong and had to relearn everything from scratch. But his second teacher took a different approach. She downplayed his mistakes, praised his rhythm, and told him he had the potential to be a great dancer. Even if he doubted it deep down, her encouragement motivated him to keep learning and improving. Remember, whether you're guiding a friend, child, employee, or partner, highlight their strengths, express belief in their abilities, and present their mistakes as small hurdles, not major flaws. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. This principle is about getting people to want to do what you're asking and feel good about it. Instead of just telling someone what to do, show them how it benefits them. Make the task seem enjoyable, rewarding, or important. The key takeaways here is to be sincere and friendly. Show them how it helps them, not just you. Give them a sense of importance or pride in doing it. Make them feel that you believe in them. People are more likely to do something, and do it well, when they feel appreciated and involved, not ordered around. Make them feel good about helping you, and they'll want to do it again. I hope you enjoyed this summary of how to win friends and influence people. Make sure to rewatch the video as needed to help you apply these powerful principles in your day-to-day life. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to get just 1% better each day. If you'd like to dive deeper into how to build better habits and create lasting change, I've also summarized Atomic Habits by James Clear, which is a great next step on your journey. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.